You can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom of me in magnificent glow, than a sleepy and permanent planet. I'd rather sing one wild song and burst my heart with it, than live 1,000 years watching my digestion and being afraid of the wet. The wild still lingered in him and the wolf in him merely slept. A bone to the dog is not charity. Charity is the bone shared with the dog, when you are just as hungry as the dog. Life is not always a matter of holding good cards, but sometimes, playing a poor hand well. The proper function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days in trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. Show me a man with a tattoo and I'll show you a man with an interesting past. Intelligent men are cruel. Stupid men are monstrously cruel. And how have I lived? Frankly and openly, though crudely. I have not been afraid of life. I have not shrunk from it. I have taken it for what it was at its own valuation. And I have not been ashamed of it. Just as it was mine. But especially he loved to run in the dim twilight of the summer midnights, listening to the subdued and sleepy murmurs of the forest, reading signs and sounds as a man may read a book, and seeking for the mysterious something that called, waking or sleeping, at all times, for him to come. But I am I and I won't subordinate my taste to the unanimous judgment of mankind. He was a silent fury who no torment could tame. As one grows weaker one is less susceptible to suffering. There is less hurt because there is less to hurt. There is an ecstasy that marks the summit of life, and beyond which life cannot rise. And such is the paradox of living, this ecstasy comes when one is most alive, and it comes as a complete forgetfulness that one is alive. It's better to stand by someone's side than by yourself. Love, genuine passionate love, was his for the first time. Deep in the forest a call was sounding, and as often as he heard this call, mysteriously thrilling and luring, he felt compelled to turn his back upon the fire and the beaten earth around it, and to plunge into the forest, and on, he knew not where or why, nor did he wonder where or why, the call sounding imperiously, deep in the forest. He was sounding the deeps of his nature, and of the parts of his nature that were deeper than he, going back into the womb of time. The ghostly winter silence had given way to the great spring murmur of awakening life. This expression of abandon and surrender, of absolute trust, he reserved for the master alone. Limited minds can recognize limitations only in others. He felt strangely numb. As though from a great distance, he was aware that he was being beaten. The last sensations of pain left him. He no longer felt anything, though very faintly he could hear the impact of the club upon his body. But it was no longer his body, it seemed so far away. He was a man without a past, whose future was the imminent grave and whose present was a bitter fever of living.